Houston, Texas, April 28, 1967, 8:47 a.m. The Armed Forces Examining and Entrance Station sits on San Jacinto Street, a nondescript government building with gray concrete walls and narrow windows that let in strips of morning light, but no air, no hope, no mercy. Outside, protesters line the sidewalk. Some hold signs supporting Muhammad Ali. Most hold signs condemning him. Traitor, coward, draft dodger. The nation is split, not down the middle, but 80-20, maybe 85-15, and Ali is on the losing side of that equation. Inside, the hallway is institutional green, the color of every government building in America, the color of bureaucracy and inevitability. Fluorescent lights hum overhead. 32 young men stand in line, most of them poor, most of them black, all of them about to be processed, classified, inducted into the United States Army, and sent 8,000 miles away to fight in a war that doesn't make sense to them, but that they'll fight anyway, because that's what you do when your country calls, even if your country has never really called you citizen, has never really called you equal, has never really called you anything except boy or worse. Muhammad Ali stands in that line, 25 years old, 6 feet 3 inches, 215 pounds of sculpted muscle, the heavyweight champion of the world, the most recognizable face on the planet, worth millions, famous beyond measure, and absolutely, completely, irrevocably alone in his decision. He wears a simple black suit, white shirt, thin black tie, no jewelry, no flash, no performance. This isn't showmanship. This is something else entirely, something heavier. Behind him in line, a young man named Marcus Washington, 19 years old, drafted last month, leaving his mama and 3 younger sisters in 5th Ward. Marcus has seen Ali fight on television, watched him destroy Sonny Liston, watched him dance and talk, and become something black men in America weren't supposed to become: unapologetic. Marcus wants to say something to Ali, wants to tell him he understands, but the words won't come because understanding and agreeing are 2 different things, and Marcus is going to Vietnam in 6 weeks, and Ali is about to walk away, and somehow that feels like betrayal even though Marcus knows, deep in his gut, that it isn't. At 9 a.m. exactly, a Navy lieutenant commander steps into the hallway. His uniform is crisp, his face harder. He carries a clipboard and a certain contempt for this particular morning, this particular duty, this particular man who has made his job infinitely more complicated. The lieutenant commander's name is Stephen Denton, and he does not want to be here, does not want to be the officer who processes Muhammad Ali, because this will be in the newspapers tomorrow, will be in the history books eventually, and Denton knows it, resents it, wishes Ali would just comply like everyone else and make this easy. Denton calls names. One by one, young men step forward, hand over their draft cards, proceed down the hallway to processing. When he reaches the name Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr., Denton doesn't look up, just reads it from the clipboard. Loud, official, final. Ali doesn't move. The hallway goes silent. Everyone knows this moment has been coming. The newspapers have been writing about it for weeks. Ali has been saying for months that he won't go, that his religion forbids it, that he has no quarrel with the Viet Cong, that no Viet Cong ever called him a racial slur, that he will not kill brown people on behalf of white people who wouldn't let him eat in their restaurants or sleep in their hotels or marry their daughters or live in their neighborhoods or exist as fully human. Denton looks up now. His jaw tightens. He repeats the name. Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. stepped forward. Ali still doesn't move. His face is calm. Not defiant, not angry, just resolved. He's been preparing for this moment for 2 years, since the draft board first reclassified him from 1Y, unfit for service due to poor literacy scores, to 1A, available for military service. In February 1966, a convenient reclassification that happened to coincide with Ali becoming the most vocal black athlete in America, the most prominent member of the Nation of Islam, the most dangerous symbol of black resistance the government had seen since Malcolm X, who was murdered 2 years earlier. Denton's voice rises. 3rd time. Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr., you are ordered to step forward and submit to induction into the Armed Forces of the United States. Ali speaks. Quietly, firmly. That's not my name. Denton's face flushes red. That is your legal name. That is a name on your draft card. Step forward. Ali says, "My name is Muhammad Ali. I am a minister of the Islamic faith. I refuse to be inducted on the grounds of my religious beliefs as a conscientious objector." The hallway erupts, not with sound but with energy. Electric, dangerous. FBI agents stationed in the building step closer. 2 U.S. Marshals move toward Ali. The other young men in line shift nervously, some stepping back, some leaning forward. Everyone understanding they're witnessing something historic and terrible and irreversible. Denton signals to a civilian attorney present for proceeding, a Justice Department lawyer named Harold Rawson, who has been assigned to ensure everything is done by the book because the government knows this case will be scrutinized, appealed, picked apart by every newspaper and courtroom in America. Rawson steps forward, pulls a document from his briefcase, hands it to Ali. "Mr. Clay, this document explains the penalties for refusing induction. You will be subject to prosecution under federal law. Maximum penalty is 5 years in federal prison and a $10,000 fine. You will be stripped of your boxing license. You will lose your passport. You will be barred from leaving the country. Your career will be over. Do you understand these consequences?" Ali takes the document, doesn't read it, hands it back. "I understand. My decision stands." Rawson tries once more. "Mr. Clay, you have been deemed fit for service. Your conscientious objector claim has been reviewed and denied. You have exhausted your appeals. If you refuse induction today, you will be arrested. You will go to trial. You will almost certainly be convicted. This will destroy your life. I strongly advise you to comply." Ali looks at Rawson, not with anger, with something closer to pity. "My life is with Allah. My faith is real. I will not kill people in the name of a country that kills people who look like me. I will not go." Denton signals to the U.S. Marshals. They move forward, but Rawson waves them back. The government wants this documented, wants every witness possible, wants Ali's refusal recorded in triplicate, so there can be no question, no technicality, no escape. They move Ali into a small room. White walls, metal table, 3 chairs. Denton, Rawson, and a stenographer sit on one side. Ali sits alone on the other. They go through the process one more time. Official questions, official answers, official documentation. "Do you refuse to submit to induction into the Armed Forces of the United States?" "Yes." "Do you understand this constitutes a violation of the Military Selective Service Act of 1948? "Yes." "Do you have any final statement?" Ali pauses, then speaks, and what he says will be quoted in newspapers, broadcast on television, repeated in courtrooms, studied in history classes for the next 50 years. "I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong. They never call me nigger. They never lynch me. They never put dogs on me. They never denied me anything. So why should I go shoot them for America, who don't even treat me like a citizen? If I thought going to war would bring freedom and equality to 22 million of my people, they wouldn't have to draft me. I'd join tomorrow, but I know it won't, so I refuse." The stenographer's fingers stop moving. Even she understands the weight of those words, the way they cut through all the legal language and government procedure and expose the raw truth that America doesn't want to hear, that you can't ask a man to die for a country that won't let him live. At 10:23 a.m., Muhammad Ali officially refuses induction. The FBI opens a file. The Justice Department begins preparing criminal charges. The New York State Athletic Commission announces they will strip Ali of his boxing license and title. The World Boxing Association follows within hours. By noon, Ali is no longer the heavyweight champion. By evening, he's the most hated man in America. But something else happens that afternoon. Something the government didn't anticipate. Something more dangerous than one man refusing the draft. College students across America, black and white, start organizing protests. Not just against the war, which many were already protesting, but specifically in support of Ali, in support of his right to refuse, in support of his courage to say no to a government that demands compliance but offers no justice in return. At Howard University, 300 students march through campus chanting Ali's name. At Berkeley, 500 students stage a sit-in at the draft board office. At Harvard, Law students organize a legal defense fund. The movement that had been building against Vietnam suddenly has a face, a name, a symbol of resistance that transcends race and class and becomes something powerful and unified and impossible to ignore. Ollie goes home to his apartment in Houston. His wife, Belinda, is waiting. She's been crying, not because she disagrees with his decision, but because she knows what's coming, knows they're about to lose everything, knows the government will come after them with everything it has, knows their life as they knew it is over. Ollie sits on the couch, puts his head in his hands. For the first time all day, he allows himself to feel the weight of what he's done. He's 25 years old. He just walked away from millions of dollars. He just destroyed the career he's been building since he was 12. He just made himself a target for every racist in America who has been waiting for an excuse to tear him down. But he also did something else. He stood on principle. He refused to compromise his faith for money or fame or safety. He said no to the most powerful government on earth and accepted the consequences. He chose integrity over everything else. 3 weeks later, a federal grand jury indicts Muhammad Ali on charges of refusing induction. The trial is scheduled for June. Everyone knows he'll be convicted. Everyone knows he'll appeal. Everyone knows this will take years to resolve. In the meantime, Ali can't fight, can't earn money, can't leave the country, can't do anything except wait and watch as the government tries to destroy him for refusing to kill people he has no reason to hate. But Ali doesn't wait quietly. He starts speaking at colleges, at mosques, at any venue that will have him. He becomes a voice for the anti-war movement, for black nationalism, for religious freedom, for the right to dissent. He becomes more dangerous as an activist than he ever was as a boxer, because now he's not just winning fights in the ring. He's fighting for our hearts and minds, and the government can't knock him out, can't 8-count him, can't stop him with judges' scorecards. The conviction comes on June 20th, 1967. Guilty. 5 years in prison. $10,000 fine. Ali remains free on bond pending appeal. The appeals take 4 years. 4 years of exile. 4 years of watching other men fight for the title that was stolen from him. 4 years of poverty, of struggle, of being called traitor and coward and worse. 4 years of standing firm while the world tries to break him. Then, on June 28, 1971, the Supreme Court overturns Ali's conviction in a unanimous 8-0 decision. The government's case collapses. Ali is vindicated, not just legally, but morally. History bends toward justice, slowly, painfully, but it bends. 2 months later, the government finally returns Ali's passport. He can travel again. He can fight again. He can reclaim what was taken from him. And he does. Beats Joe Frazier in the rematch. Beats George Foreman in Zaire. Becomes the heavyweight champion again. Proves that 4 years of exile couldn't kill his skills, couldn't diminish his speed, couldn't erase his greatness. But the real victory was in the ring. The real victory was April 28, 1967. The moment Ali said no. The 2 seconds that cost him everything and gave him immortality. Because that's what happens when you choose principle over profit, faith over fame, integrity over safety. You lose everything temporarily. You gain everything permanently. You become more than a champion. You become a symbol. You become proof that one person, standing alone, can change history. Who in your life is asking you to compromise your principles for convenience? What government, what boss, what system is demanding compliance in exchange for safety? And when that moment comes, when you have to choose between what's easy and what's right, what will you do? Muhammad Ali chose. In 2 seconds, he answered a question that defines every human life. What are you willing to sacrifice for what you believe? Most people never face that question. Ali faced it at 25 and answered it without hesitation. That's the difference between being famous and being legendary. That's the difference between winning fights and changing the world. That's why, 50 years later, we still tell his story.